The past few weeks, I've taken you along on my journey chasing fall in Colorado. Even though I found myself dealing with setback after setback, I was experiencing some of the greatest landscape photography moments I have to date. Now I want to invite you to join me yet again on another fall landscape photography adventure. Now, as I was getting settled into that morning's shoot, I actually found myself really struggling finding motivation because that sky was completely blank. There was no texture, no clouds, no nothing. It was just a bluebell sky. To add on top of that, I was also a bit early to catch the fall color in this area. There was a little bit of yellow coming through, but most of the scene was that vibrant green color you're used to seeing in the summer and spring. But what made this morning really special was the encounters I had with the wildlife. As I was setting up my shot, I could hear a bull elk off in the distance bugling, and so I grabbed my binoculars and I threw those up and I started looking, and sure enough, I found about, 8 or so cow elk up there grazing through that pasture. I never did see the bull, but what made the moment even better was that as that bull bugled, I could hear a challenger in the distance responding to every call. It was a pretty cool moment. There's no better sound in nature, in my opinion. This is one of the reasons that hanging out in the mountains in the fall is one of my favorite things to do. Now, it's safe to say that I still haven't timed this area up well, but I am happy with the images I produced. Even though that bluebell sky doesn't really do it for me, I could, I guess, do a sky replacement on it. But with all of the future shoots I ended up having of this snow-capped peak, I didn't feel like it was necessary to try to press this photo. After a quick breakfast with an amazing view, I packed up and started heading back down the mountain so I could do some much needed work on the van.
Having success in the red zone area.
With the plumbing repaired, I started working my way towards a spot that honestly, I had no idea was going to be as awesome as it ended up being. Now, I wasn't the only photographer in this spot. In fact, there was quite a few of us along this lake. So I was making sure to be respectful of others' compositions and their space. Now, later after I got that first shot, I showed you guys a lot of these photographers decided to pack up and head to a different spot of the lake because they thought that we saw the last of the light on the mountain peak. So I took advantage of the opportunity to have the lake to myself and I started scouring for a different composition, and my patience was rewarded. The sky lit up, that alpine glow did its thing, and I was able to grab a pretty nice shot. Now, I definitely could have gotten a more vibrant sky image if I walked around the other side of the lake where some of the other photographers went, but that wasn't really what I was there to shoot. I really wanted to capture some of that alpine glow on that snow-capped peak. So I'm happy I stuck to my guns and was able to frame up the composition I wanted with the light I also wanted. The next morning ended up being a bit of a bust as well with that bluebell sky. So instead of pressing and trying to make an image, I opted for some extra rest because spending 8 days straight on the road at this point was starting to catch up to me. I did go ahead and fly the drone, and I also made sure to take some time to do some composition scouting because I knew I was going to shoot my sunset shot in this location again later that evening. In my scouting, this led me to a type of photography I really wasn't expecting to do.
Now you might be wondering, there's a giant mountain behind you, why are you photographing the rocks below? Just trying to work out my abstract photography muscles. I'll be honest, I'm a little burnt out right now because the photography's been so good, and I'm not complaining at all, but I was kind of getting homesick today, and you know, there's no clouds in the sky and everything, so it's kind of hard. You know, it's a beautiful day, but it's kind of hard to get the creative photography juices going. So I challenged myself to keep coming up and to come out and create, and I actually found myself something that is going to be a good sunset shot.
After I got my compositions all scouted up and I felt confident for that later shoot, I decided to go for a little bit of a walk down this trail to see if I could grab any small scenes and backlit aspen shots.
How you doing?
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is, right?
First time I've been here.
That's my second year being out here. It's probably one of my favorite places on earth.
I always enjoy when I have a nice conversation with another traveler on a trail. Now, filming videos like these out in public makes me really nervous, but thankfully all the people that I ran into during my filming were all awesome, made it super easy for me, and I even gained a couple new followers and subscribers from those interactions. had an absolute blast photographing these backlit aspen trees. But the time finally came for me to head back up to the van and get ready for my evening shoot. I had the same problem that I was running into in the last few shoots, a completely blank sky. So instead of fighting this clear sky, I thought to myself, why not just do a little bit of astrophotography? Yeah, the conditions aren't great for your typical landscape photography, but these are perfect astrophotography conditions. So I went ahead and framed up an astrophotography shot. My goal was to go ahead and capture a star trail over Wilson Peak. And how I capture star trails personally is I use an app called PhotoPills to help plan out where the star trails are going to be trailing and what direction they're going to be going. Kind of helps me frame up my compositions. And then from there, I set the camera up on a timer. So depending on how long I want my trails to go will depend on how long I let my camera go out there and shoot. For this particular star trail, I knew I didn't really need a super long trail. I just needed something up there that created a little bit more texture in the sky than just the blank blue sky that we had. So what I do is I go ahead and I frame up my composition when I have plenty of light, and as that blue hour light starts to dissipate, I capture a foreground image, making sure I have all of the data in a clean file that I could possibly have. Then as it gets a little bit darker, I start my time-lapse sequence on my camera. And then later in post-production, I blend all those images together, which creates this image that you see right here. Now, thanks for watching this week's episode. If you guys have been following my journeys along the way, I really appreciate it. If you are new to the channel, well, then make sure you guys head back and watch those first 2 episodes. I also want to invite you guys to subscribe to the channel if you are not already, so you can join me on the next adventures that we are going on. But that is it for today. I will see you guys in the next adventure.